Okay, the War Within's first major patch will change everything. Massive updates and reworks pretty much across the board for classes out there. Hero talent tree updates, changes to delves and how you could further progress your character better than ever before. Changes to god-awful Mythic Plus system that we desperately needed. Endgame content, future of it all, and more coming in just a few weeks. Don't forget, if you're looking for an easy way to find your runes or level up quickly in all versions of World of Warcraft, click that link in the description below to get the Rested XP guide. It's literally the best guide out there for World of Warcraft. I promise you won't be disappointed. Click the link, support the channel, gain rewards. Now, when we say just a few weeks, we have a pretty good notion that this is happening. I will say Blizzard has yet to announce an official release date, but with the PTR already live as of a couple weeks ago and based on the in-game calendar, the Turbulent Timeways event has already been active and ends up wrapping up on February 25th. So for example, the last Turbulent Timeways event ended up on October 31st, and the major patch launched 1 week after that on November 7th. So there's a very good chance that this will continue and the patch will either launch on the 25th, the day it ends, or 1 week later on March 4th. Now, I think it's pretty apparent that World of Warcraft does have some problems right now. War Within is not perfect. And to name off some of the biggest ones, of course, you have your endgame loop, which is the Mythic Plus system. I think it's obvious that if the player participation is at some of the lowest for one of their featured endgame system, that would indicate a pretty big problem. Not only that, we have the developers with the game director, Ian, and he's pretty much just flat out saying that, yeah, things aren't really going too great right now, and that there are issues. In my personal opinion, I would think the number one issue about Mythic Plus is the loot reward. The time investment ratio has to be completely overhauled. So Blizzard, just as of yesterday, surprisingly, put out a big post about Mythic Plus and some of the major changes that's coming with Season 2. So Blizzard stated that they learned a lot from Season 1, and the biggest complaints from the players goes as follows. They state that there's way too many mechanics with too many threats going on in individual polls at once. The failure system of not completing a key is way too harsh. There's insufficient rewards relative to the effort and the time investment, and it's very difficult for many players to find groups as the community, of course, gravitates toward meta specs because everything is so difficult. So now that Blizzard has addressed some of the biggest issues, what are their solutions? What are their answers to these problems? So to break it down quickly, baseline Mythic Zeros will now award champion track gear on a weekly lockout. So it's a great starting point for most players to get in, and Mythic Zeros get some solid loot, learn some things about the dungeon, and be about their way. Additionally, the scaling from lower level keys to higher level keys is going to get nerfed by about 30%, which is great. With previously, they were scaled about 10% per mythic level that you'd go up, to now it's going to be 7%. The only time it's going to stay at that 10% mark is going to be Mythic Tiers 11 and onward. Additionally, the awful Challenger's Peril that takes off 15 seconds off the clock when you die is not going to be embedded in Mythic Plus until you reach level 12. And for the lower level Mythic keys, it's going to be replaced Tyrannical and Fortify, which is a major win for pickup groups in the lower tier bracket. Hero track gear is going to start being earned at Mythic level 6, and Gilded Crest are going to be dropping from Mythic plus 7s and onward. All of these changes that we just announced are very good for smoother progression, way less punishing mechanics, and earning rewards that are stronger at a lower difficulty rate faster. Overall, a very big W for Mythic Plus in the second season, so we are looking great. A great visual representation for all of this is displayed on screen for you here, where Mythic 2 through 5 drop champion loot. You don't have affixes until tier 4. The damage is only ramping up slightly, and then starting at tier 6 onward, you earn hero gear, and at Mythic level 7, you can start earning your Gilded Crest, which is huge for upgrading your character and transitioning from that hero to Mythic track, and it's going to be significantly smoother than Season 1. Additionally, they're rewarding us with more Runed and Gilded Crest the higher we go, and they're making a way smoother progression system and even lowering the toxic amount of packs and annoying mechanics you have to do inside of a dungeon, like interrupting cast every 2 seconds. All of these changes is exactly what Mythic Plus needs to be back on the menu for Season 2, and it featured endgame content system that World of Warcraft desperately needed in between raiding and doing your bountiful delves every week. In my opinion, this is an absolute major W from Blizzard, and we should clap it up for what they've done so far. Don't forget, we also have the brand new key depletion achievement earned from now hitting 3,000 rating, which means if you time all the dungeons at a key level of 13, your keys will no longer deplete below that level, which is great to see because no one wants to brick keys anymore. Hats off to Blizzard. Major win heading to Season 2. Very excited to run Mythic Plus again this season. Now, one of the greatest additions coming into the War Within, I think we can all agree, was Delves. I mean, the time investment to reward ratio on Delves as you're progressing your character, man, it's phenomenal. It's one of the best things they've ever done in WoW. In a way, it's kind of the opposite of Mythic Plus. And because Delves ended up actually being so good and received well by the community, it became obvious all of the glaring problems Mythic Plus had. There's no stress in finding a group, no time to pug and get over there, no worry on if somebody's gonna leave, you're gonna brick your key, no stress on time. You simply save up your bountiful delve keys, you farm out some delves, and it's a very straightforward way to play the game that not only earns you gear, but a crap load of resources and currency as well. I made almost like 40,000 gold last week running these bountiful delves between acquiring the end chest rare items and my undermine coins to buy the bags and get the loot to sell for money on the auction house, which was awesome. But the only problem is your gear progression in delves is fantastic up until you hit that roadblock, up until you hit that wall of anything past delve tier level 8 is meaningless and upgrading your character just stops. So Blizzard thankfully decided to make some changes toward gearing, moving into the new patch in Delves as well. You can actually now earn additional runed crest from running Delves higher than tier 8 all the way up to tier 11. And now tier 11s will drop what is called a gilded stash of crest up to 3 times a week, awarding you with 6 gilded crest. So now if you didn't know, runed crest is what's used to upgrade your heroic gear, while Gilded Crest is what's used to upgrade your Mythic track gear, or potentially even crafting the Mythic gear. So Blizzard made a nice power move here. Delves past level 8 are now valuable. They give actual rewards. Gear progression doesn't become a massive halt after a certain amount of time, and it's not something you could spam over and over again. You can only do it 3 times a week, so you're not stuck in Delves every single day. Not only that, we're also getting 2 brand new delves that are going to be located in the Undermine, and all the existing delves in the game will receive a brand new variant. And it's all a little bit more love for the solo casual player, which is a good thing because it's the majority of the player base. Not only that, Bran is also getting a facelift. He's getting some brand new curios to give him abilities toward his new spec, which is a tanking role now. And this is going to give you the opportunity as a healer to have Bran as a tank. You heal him in your own delve. You deal a little bit of damage here and there, and then you can progress through as a healer. Of course, you could try this, playing as a DPS, whatever, but he's very, very powerful as a tank from what we've heard and what we've seen online. He has a cool little pistol shot, shield bash, and even a shotgun blast as well. We of course have a brand new raid coming that visually looks very, very nice. It has some of the craziest looking bosses I've ever seen in WoW. I'm gonna be honest, personally, I haven't tried it out because I didn't want to spoil it for myself on the PTR, but the entire raid is goblin themed, and we'll have a brand new renown progression system within that raid that gives fantastic rewards. There's 20 levels overall in this progression system, and we're gonna assume that, of course, the more you clear the raid, the faster rate at which you get these levels. You also have 2 different types of currency you can earn through this. The first is called the counterfeit chips, which allows you to get cosmetic appearances. And then you have the cartel chips, which you can trade in to just pick up 2 raid items of your choice, which is awesome. You then have some other rewards that don't relate to power. You also have like profession tables, a chance at a crystallized augment for free, repair stations, jumper cables, out of combat movement speed. You also have a way where if you're out of combat, you could self-resurrect yourself. So if somebody doesn't have a battle res ready, your raid should be able to revive itself. So a lot of fun little, systems and rewards that you can earn through this renowned progression system that can make you feel, rewarded for coming back to the raid consistently with your group, progressing through it all. Also, one of the best things that come with the new season is, of course, all of the class changes and reworks. And yes, at the moment, we do have a ton, pretty much across the board for most classes. We have some updates, but I'm not going to dive into everything and all the specific details here because I have made multiple videos on this topic. So if you're interested, you can check out all the individual changes here and all the major impacts they bring as well on each of these specs. So if you're interested, check these out. But a quick TLDR of them is that Blizzard is bringing buffs to classes such as Hunter, Shaman, Paladin, and Mage, also changing up a bunch of their hero talent trees. And then there are other specs that are lagging behind a bit, I believe, with these new updates such as Warlock, Shadowpraise Druid, and Demon Hunter. Of course, a lot of stuff on the PTR is bugged right now, so they're kind of ranging vastly, but I do think there are classes on there that still desperately need changes, and I think the meta specs at the current state in the War Within are very, very top heavy, meaning that there are around 6 to 8 specs for DPS and a couple tanks and healers here or there that seem to be dominating. and then everyone else is sort of struggling and falling behind significantly. Now, I do think Blizzard will continue to make changes over the course of the next month or so until we get Season 2. I'm just hoping it's going to be enough to bring some of these lower end specs in line with some of the higher end specs in the game. Now, of course, I will go over some of my biggest issues in just a second, but overall, I do think this patch is shaping up to be very solid. I think delves are one of the best things the devs ever added for World of Warcraft, and it really saves casual players endless hours on gearing up, progressing through their characters to push them in some really high-end content. And not only that, it helps out alternate characters as well by giving them a shot to gear quick, gear up cleanly. So them working even harder on it to help progress in the end game and help out those casual players. I mean, why wouldn't you? They're the majority of the player base. I mean, it was to the point where the first season where it was like, you go into delves, you get your champion gear, and then it's pretty much at that point, you're praying for one of those delve maps that can give you a 610 piece, and you're just rolling the dice every single time. It's like, you hit that roadblock, and that was it. Now you can go back, you can potentially get that good gear, and you get those 3 procs of the Gilded Harbinger crest to upgrade into Mythic or Heroic track gear. It's a really, really nice system. It felt really bad with Season 1 with delves where you're progressing, everything's good, and then you're shoved into Mythic Plus, and you're kind of stuck there. Now, when it comes to Mythic Plus personally, I think Blizzard is doing a fantastic job with all the changes and listening to what the community wants heading into new season. Every single one of these changes aim to create a smoother and more rewarding progression system from Mythic Plus, and it's exactly what we needed. They're addressing most of the player problems, especially with the difficulty spikes, all the punishing mechanics going on within packs, not getting enough rewards for doing all this garbage. I mean, what a W. They reduced the scaling difficulty from Mythics 2 through 10. They're moving around affixes and getting higher level gear at earlier tiers. These updates make entry into Mythic Plus just way easier than before. They help everybody learn mechanics and ensure the system feels more rewarding for casual and experienced group. Very, very big W. I do think the raid, the tier set, the visuals, the set bonuses, they all look really cool, and I also love the fact that adding in the new, raid progression system, similar to a renown track, will reward you for keep coming back. I think it's going to have people interested in the raid for a decent amount of time. And genuinely, I think the theme of the raid is really cool overall, so that's a plus. I would say, from an overall standpoint, in the majority of the patch, I'm excited to get in there. I'm excited for the drive system. I think the raid looks really fun. I love the changes they made to delves. I think there's some class changes that look good. Still think they need more improvements though, but I'm definitely excited overall. One last note we wanted to make: if you're looking for a guild or people to progress through Mythic Plus with or raid with next season, the Comeback Kids are recruiting, and any and all players are welcome to come on down, play with us. We're looking to fill out some new members for the raid. Oh my god, we fucking did it. Oh my god, let's fucking go, bro. Let's fucking go. That's how that shit gets done. If you're on the Horde, you can simply just go to the guild tab and search up the Comeback Kids, and we should pop up. Make sure you do have the guild size on any so you can actually see us. Either way though, if it doesn't work, you just use the Discord link in the comment section below. Hop in there and verify, get yourself in, and then we can get you invited by you posting your name and server under the guild invite tab. Hey, hope you enjoyed the video. Listen, if you guys enjoyed the content, we have a ton of other videos to help you get through the war within, like these 2 right here. And since you're already here, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button to join the Comeback Kids family today, because every subscriber matters. Thank you all so much for enjoying the video. I'll see you in the next one.